Morning everyone, my name is Shay and this right here is Goldie. We just wanted to take the opportunity to walk you through how to do a super easy deep clean of your chicken coop in just 4 steps. I'm also going to include some really key secrets that'll make sure your chicken coop smells nice and clean, and more importantly that this process is super easy. So stay tuned and let's get started. So step 1 in this process is pretty simple. It's just really getting out all of those kind of dirty, nasty shavings that you have in your coop. We actually just put them in a trash bag and throw them away. If you have a compost pile, that's even better. We just haven't started ours yet. So kind of the first secret to really making this process super easy is really when you're selecting your chicken coop. So for ours, I will show you. It has this retractable kind of bottom here, so it's easy to pull out and to take all those shavings out. So you kind of want a retractable bottom, or you want the side of the coop to be able to completely open, so that when you're removing the shavings, it's just really easy and kind of a one-step process, and you're not having to put your full body in there. So next, basically I'll just walk through really just dumping these in a trash can and letting you see what it looks like. Okay, little guys, you gotta get out. You can't stay in there forever. So after you have all the shavings in the bag, see, it was pretty simple. Just put it out, it falls right into the bag. You'll see that there'll be kind of a couple extra spots of excrement. So I use a kind of paint scraper, and it makes it all come off really easy and falls right into the bag. I just take it out and put it to the side. So most chicken runs or chicken coops will have these roosting bars. Ours are able to come in and out. So when I'm doing that deep clean, I'll take them out each time, just because I really want to get them good with soap and water, just to make sure they're extra clean for our chickens. Next, we got to clean out more of where they roost, or at least their roosting area. So as you can see, kind of this is a side where they can roost. We've kept it open just because we have 8 chickens and it feels like it's a little tight. So just like to keep this part open so they could sleep on. If you can see on that far side, we have it blocked off. So when they get ready to actually lay some eggs, we will open that back up. So when it comes to this side, basically remove the water, and then I will just scrape all of the shavings into the bag. So our next step is really going to get ready to start washing, all of the gunk and stuff out of the chicken coop. So the key things that I'll take is I'll take that big water jug right there. They also have a smaller water jug we keep in their coop. We will take the pan as well as their roosting bars, and we'll take them kind of outside of the cage to kind of soap them up and get them nice and clean. Okay everyone, so I brought it outside the coop just because when I'm doing a lot of water, I don't want to flood out the coop and kind of make those wood chips deteriorate a little bit quicker. So when it comes to this part, it's really simple. All I do is have a small bucket. I have a brush with some good bristles, and on the end, if you can see, kind of that sharp point to get any of the kind of sticky parts off. And here's the biggest point, or kind of the key secret that I do, which is really just Dawn. Dawn is great about getting all of the muck off, making it super clean, and it's really inexpensive, and I use maybe 2 or 3 drops, and that's it. So it's a great thing to do, very minimal supplies, and it makes everything super clean. Literally just a couple drops. That is all you need, because that will give you plenty of suds. Then just fill it with some water. And spray, kind of spray down the base pan with water before I put the soap on, just so kind of the pressure of the water, make sure all those little parts that are stuck on comes off. Then the easy part, right? Just scrub it up. So when it comes to these roosting bars, again, I just use this brush, really kind of get them good. These are never going to turn white or, you know, be pristine, but it does get like a large amount of all the gunk off and just makes it a little safer and cleaner for the chickens. Okay, next and kind of the last things you need to do are really wash out your 2 water buckets. So with these, what I tend to do is really kind of fill inside and see if you feel that film, right? If there's the film, then I'll kind of put the Dawn in it and wash it out multiple times. If I don't feel the film in it, I'll just use the water to rinse it out and then fill it up from there. It's a little filmy right now, so I will go ahead and wash it. As you know, your chickens are going to be drinking out of this, so you need to make sure you rinse it multiple times so they're not drinking in that Dawn. It's not harmful, but at the same time, you just want them to get pure water if at all possible. Or just leave those there to dry in the sun while I kind of move on to the next point and while I finish cleaning out this water bucket. So this water bucket is kind of different in regards to, it has these little nipples on the end so the chickens can drink without getting it dirty, like they seem to get everything else dirty. So when it comes to this, you need to make sure that you kind of rest it on something. You don't want to rest these on the ground just because they'll get all dirt and muck in it. So it's a little bit more complicated. They do have it where you can just rest it on a 2x4 and these won't touch, but I haven't really done that, so I just kind of do kind of finagle it with the chicken coop in itself. Woo! So to keep our water off the ground, we have this kind of thick chain that we hanging on, but it really seems to work, especially as the chickens get bigger. We're able to ratchet it up and make it a little higher. So basically just use this, put it on the handle, and that's it. Okay, so now that, you know, we've gotten all the feed out, or all the kind of the shavings and the dirty part out, we've washed a lot of our stuff, so now I'm going to leave it out into the sun to dry. And so the next step is really focused on the chicken run, how to make sure that it's healthy and clean for the chickens, because I spend a lot of time digging in it. So what I do is I really turn it every week, and then I put something down that's called sweet PDZ, which really helps with that kind of urine smell. It's really safe for the chickens, and it just, again, you know, that real big key is it gets rid of any of that kind of nasty smell. So definitely recommend it. So I gotta get that sweet PDZ. I just put it in a cup and literally just sprinkle it around before I rake all the different wood chips and stuff. You know, so kind of for the last step is just to, you know, really kind of rake and turn all the wood chips with the sweet PDZ. It just makes sure that kind of all their excrement isn't on the top layer. Just kind of gets it mixed in. Because a lot of time the chickens are eating, they're digging. So as much as you can make sure we don't have a top film of just kind of poop and everything else, it'll be that much healthier for your chickens. So I might try to turn the camera around because there are a bunch of chickens just looking out. See if I can get it. So if you can see, let's see if you can see. So this one right here is Mustang, and this one right there is Rose. Mustang, I think, is definitely the prettiest, but the biggest scaredy cat. But Tweety over here, actually Rose, is a Delaware chicken, very curious, and will definitely come up and kind of say hello a lot. So he's definitely one of our favorites. So, I mean, that's really about it. I mean, it took, what, 3 minutes or so just to put the sweet PDZ and to turn it all with the rake. It definitely gets you a little sweaty, especially in this Texas heat, but I promise you it is well worth it to make sure that that smell doesn't start creeping up. as well as just making sure it's healthier for your chickens. Okay, so I brought in everything kind of out that was outside of the pen that we were trying to get nice and dry. So basically I'm going to install it and just put in some fresh shavings so that our chickens can be happy and healthy. Okay, so now that I've kind of installed everything back into the chicken coop, now it's trying to put down some basic things that are really just going to make sure the chickens are healthy, they're not getting any mites or bugs. So the first one is this, and I apologize because I can never say this right, but it's like Diatomaceous Earth food grade, which is safe for your chickens. So I actually have, it comes with this, which is pretty simple, right? You just push it and it comes out, right? We could eat it. I don't necessarily suggest you do it, but you could. But I spray this all around the chicken walls. And then I'll go put some more of that sweet PDZ on the bottom of their coop as well. Just again, to make sure we don't have any of that urine smell. And it helps to make sure the poop and urine and stuff like that don't really harden on your coop, which makes it a whole lot easier to clean. Make sure you spray it on the walls, on the floor, on the roosting. I mean, spray more than less and just get her on every surface that they could come in contact with. And then what I was talking about before is kind of this sweet PDZ. So this is the horse. You can get one that says for the chicken coop, but it's a lot smaller and more expensive, which just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But this is safe for chicken coops. So I just get a small, quarter of a cup and put it in there as well. And this is what I used in the coop area, just to make sure that it doesn't start smelling after a while. See, it's just a small measuring cup. It may not even be fourth of a cup, and I'll just sprinkle that around. Again, it just makes sure that coop smells a little bit cleaner, and nothing sticks. Okay, now it is time for the shavings. So when I've done the shavings, a lot of my shavings have been those small shavings, but we recently got a bag because we have goats as well, some of the bigger shavings, so we wanted to try those. It seems to be working. So you can see I picked a lot of the larger pine shavings for the coop, so we'll see how that works. Everything you need to clean the chicken coop is already out here, right? Save yourself the time from dragging that stuff back and forth. And then I just kind of take a handful and spread it all in the coop. And really that's about it. So I'm going to put up this trash can, and then I'm going to show you kind of, if you stayed with me this long, kind of the biggest secret of all that really gains, I think, a lot and is quite enjoyable to do. So I'll take you there in 1 second. Okay, y'all, so now that we've got everything clean, right, I'm going to take you to what is kind of, I consider the best secret overall, and something that I definitely love to do and really just kind of help the chickens, again, with that smell and just helping with their respiratory and immune system. So, I was raised in the city, raised in Dallas, Texas, never actually really had any farm animals or gardens or anything that's more that country lifestyle, but I don't understand why. Ever since kind of I've gotten into a couple more acres of land, it's just part of me that's come out, and I just definitely love it. And so kind of the thing I want to show you is we kind of grow our own herbs for the chickens. There we go. So I want to show you the different herbs we grow. I'll probably do a different video that really outlines what the different benefits are, but for now I'll just kind of show you ours and what we choose. Okay, so this is our garden. You can see it's a pretty large, I think it's 20 by 20, but around the edge we put these cinder blocks, and so I decided to put different herbs in it. So we did the 5 herbs when I did research, so they're best for the chickens. These ones you'll see right in front of me are thyme. Then over here we have some sage leaves. And then parsley, right? Our chickens just love parsley, and I'll take huge handfuls and just dump it in there, and they love it. So then when it comes to smell, I planted like 3 mint plants, so we'll pull a bunch of those. And then lastly, and of course, is the wonderful world of lavender. So I'll go and pull some of all of those and take them back to the chicken coop. Okay, so I brought all these herbs back. So this is the mint. Y'all, it smells so good. It really is wonderful. And I just take the full sprigs and just drop it in their coop, and it makes it smell so much better. It's also really relaxing for the chickens, and it's supposed to help them calm down at night, as well as when they're starting to lay eggs. If you do some mint and lavender, it really just helps them kind of, I guess, get in the mood, so to speak. It's done. Now with my remaining herbs, so this is the sage, the parsley, and the thyme. I really just kind of tear it up and put it all around the coop. They get to forage for it. It keeps them entertained and makes sure they're nice and healthy. Okay, and that's really about it. So this whole process took maybe 20 minutes. Again, it's something that I do every week just because unfortunately our chickens are not able to free range. We have way too many hawks and coyotes out here, but doing this really keeps them nice and healthy, right? It's only a 4-step process. There's a lot of kind of tricks along the way to make this easy, make sure your chickens are healthy, and just make this kind of a more pleasant experience overall. So really appreciate y'all watching. Make sure you like and put a comment below, and I hope y'all have a great day. Thanks.